Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another standard gameplay video in the new Final Fantasy format, and today we are playing a Boros equipment deck, and this deck is kind of busted. And it has a good mix of new cards and old cards. So one of the main subtypes in Final Fantasy is equipments, especially in white and red or Boros, and whenever we get equipment decks, pretty much always in Boros. But we don't get them. Like obviously we get equipment in pretty much every set, but we don't always get support for them. But we do in some of the new cards. So they are, round sign of the 1-drops, Freya Crescent from Final Fantasy 9. She is a rat. She's 1 mana 1/1. On your turn, she has flying, and then we tap her to add red. So another mono red mana dork. There was one in Tarkir Dragonstorm, which I was told by a viewer was the second mono red mana dork, so this might make it the third. But we can only spend the red she produces on equipment or to activate an equip ability. So that's what we want to do. And then the main one is Cloud Midgar Mercenary. Cloud is obviously the main protagonist from Final Fantasy 7. 2 mana, 2/1. When you enter a social library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So we do have a lot of one-of equipments that we can search out with Cloud. So as long as a Cloud is equipped, if an ability of Cloud or an equipment attached to it triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. That is important for a very, very specific reason. Well, a few reasons, but we'll get into that in a minute. And then we have the full playset of Raban, Bull of Alamigo, who's from Final Fantasy 14, the MMORPG. 2 mana, 2/2. Ward, pay life equal to Raban's power. I always find Ward like that interesting because at the start of the game, it's easy to play because paying 2 life to kill Raban is not particularly hard. But at the end of the game, it makes it a lot harder, which is kind of the opposite to mana cost wards. Mana cost wards are harder at the start and easier at the end. But anyway, when Raban attacks, attach up to one target equipment you control to target attacking creature. That's really good because some obviously equipments can be quite pricey to equip. But with Raban, we can do it for free. And it's not just Raban. As long as Raban attacks, we can attach it to any attacking creature. And then rounding out the new cards, we have 2 copies of Aldebert Steiner, one of the characters from Final Fantasy 9, along with Freya. He's a 2 mana 2/1 with lifelink, and he gets +1/+1 for each equipment you control. This can make him quite big. And obviously, we're going to have a lot of equipment, so that's quite good. And then we have 1 copy of Geot, King of the Dwarves, who I believe is from Final Fantasy 4, a 2 mana 1 with double strike, which are decent stats and obviously really good to buff with equipment. It says when Geot or another dwarf we control enters, or whenever an equipment we control enters. Geot's our only dwarf. We may discard a card if we do draw a card. Great to get rid of extra lands, or maybe some of our cards, some of our equipments that we may not want to cast or may not be able to cast to get through our deck. And then we have 1 copy of Lightning Army of 1, and this is more for a combo I'll get to in a second. I will definitely be playing a deck specifically looking at that combo, but I've got it in the deck just in case it works. I've not managed to get it to work so far. Well, I've not managed to get the cards so far, but if you do, let me know down in the comments. Lightning Army of 1 is a 3 mana 3/2 with first strike, trample, lifelink. They're pretty good stats. And it says whenever lightning deals combat damage to a player, until your next turn, if a source would deal damage to that player or a permanent that player controls, it deals double that damage instead. So because she has first strike, and trample, she will do damage before pretty much everything else, meaning that the rest of your attackers will do double damage. And I'll get to the combo in a second. So they are the new non-equipment cards. Rounding out the deck for non-equipment cards, a Kemba, Car Enduring, a 2 mana 2/2. Whenever Kemba or another cat we control enters, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to that creature. Equip creatures you control get +1/+1. So this is great to equip some of the more expensive creatures, the Kemba Car. And we can pay 5 to create a 2/2 white cat creature token. So that's great if we have Leyline Axe. Leyline Axe, 4 mana. If it's in an open hand, we'll begin with it on the battlefield. Equip creature gets +1/+1, has double strike and trample. Equip free, so it's great if we get this in our open hand, put on the battlefield, then turn to Kemba Car, attach it, and suddenly Kemba Car is now a 4/4 because it gets +1/+1 from the axe, and then +1/+1 from Kemba Car. A 4/4 double strike trample is very, very powerful on turn 2. So finally, the other non-equipment is Rebel Salvo, a 3 mana instant. Deal 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. The permanent also loses indestructible to the end of turn, but has affinity for equipment, so chances are we're paying 1 for this, and 1 mana to deal 5 to a creature or planeswalker is pretty bonkers. So next up, the equipment, and we have a lot of one-offs, apart from 3 of Lava Spur Boots. And this is one I think is actually really powerful in the deck. So it's 1 mana, quick creature gets +1/+0, it has haste and ward 1, equip 1. So not massively impactful, although haste is pretty good and ward 1 helps. But if we attach it to Cloud, Cloud has that, as long as it's equipped, if an ability of Cloud triggers additional time, Cloud will have ward 1, meaning with Lava Spur Boots on Cloud, it actually has ward 1 twice. And if we have multiple Lava Spur Boots on Cloud, which is possible, we'll get to in a minute, it will have ward 2, 4, 6, which is kind of crazy, and obviously gets the +1/+0 and haste. And we do that with Bladehold War Whip from Mirrodin. 3 mana, has the 4 Mirrodin, which basically like living weapon, and Job Select, meaning it comes down, we create a 2/2 red rebel creature token attached to it. It has double strike, but then the war itself has equip ability to activate if other equipment costs 1 less to activate, and it has equip for 5. Now that is on the equipment, not on the equipped creature has. So even if Bladehold War Whip isn't attached, it reduces the cost of all of our equipped abilities by 1. Lava Spur Boots has an equipped ability of 1, meaning with Bladehold War Whip, it's 0. So essentially, if we have the War Whip out, which we can fetch up with Cloud, obviously if it's in our hand, play it, then we have a Lava Spur Boots out, kind of every creature we play turns into a haste creature because we can just attach it for 0. And that's really good. So the other equipment are Basilisk Collar, Death Touch and Lifelink. If we need Lifelink, we need to get back in the game. Chainsaw acts as a removal. It deals 3 damage to one target creature when it enters. And whenever one or more creature dies, put a rev counter on the Chainsaw. And a equipped creature gets +X/0, where X is the number of rev counters on the equipment and it equips for 3. Celestial Armor, 3 mana, flash. When it enters, attached to the target creature we control. That creature gains hexproof and indestructible to end of turn, and it has +2/+0 and flying. Now, if we obviously fetch this up with Cloud, they're going to know about it. So this is more just to have in our hand. Then we have the Ether Spark, a 4 mana equipment from Ether Drift, the main character from Ether Drift. As long as the Ether Spark is attached to a creature, the Ether Spark can't be attacked and has whenever a quick creature deals combat damage to your turn or during your turn, put their main Lorna counters on the Spark, where you can +1 to attach it up to one target creature control, put a +1 counter on it, -5 to draw 5 cards, and -10 to add 10 mana of any one colour. Then we have Machinist Arsenal, a 5 mana Job Select, meaning we do create a 1/1 hero token. A quick creature gets +2/+2 for each artifact we control, and is an artificer in addition to other types, and equipped for 4. So we have 16 artifacts, so that can be quite big. In some of the videos you may have seen Samurai's Katana, which is a cheaper Job Select equipment, but I went for this in the end because it can get a bigger buff. And then Genji Glove is the combo with Lightning Army of 1. So Genji Glove is 5 to cast, 3 to equipped. Equipped creature has double strike, and when it attacks, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap it. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So if we can equip it to Lightning, which we can with Raban, Bull of Alamigo, basically she will have double strike, so she'll hit once, doubling the damage to her opponent, then twice at double damage, which then doubles the damage to opponent, and then we get a second combat phase, and she can attack again for twice more. So we end up doubling it like 3 times, and it can be a 1-hit kill. So I've not pulled it off in this deck, but I think it is possible. And then I have skipped over a couple, basically Sword of Forge of Frontier and Buster Sword. Sword of Forge of Frontier, there are a couple of swords in standard at the moment, but I think this is the one best in the deck. 3 to play, 2 to equip. Quick creature has +2/+2 and has protection from red and from green. And when it deals combat damage to a player, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. You may play an additional landless card this turn. And then we have Buster Sword, which is obviously Cloud Sword from Final Fantasy 7, which I really like the fact that it has the same cost and equip as Sword of Forge of Frontier. So if you don't know, Sword of is a mega cycle. There are loads of them. Well, not loads, but there are a lot of them throughout Magic's history. And they all cost 3 to cast and 2 to equip. And I like that Buster Sword has the same thing. So a quick creature gets +3/+2. That is a very real buff. And then when a quick creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then you may cast a spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to that damage without paying its mana cost. And the idea is if you equip this to Cloud, that will double twice, and obviously make Cloud a 5/3, which is very powerful. But obviously with all the double strike we've got going around from Genji Glove and Geot and Leyline Axe, we can probably trigger that twice. Yeah, so very, very powerful. And what we're searching up with Cloud depends on the board state, but often I'm actually searching up Bladehold War Whip or Lava Spur Boots just to give things haste and just to give Cloud like basically hexproof by giving him Ward 4 or 6. But if we need to, we do have everything else as well. Mana base, 4 planes, 1 mountain because we are mostly white. Battlefield Forge, Inspiring Vantage, Sunbird and Verge, and Piles of Heroes because pretty much all our creatures are legendary. In fact, I think every single creature is legendary. So obviously this base ends up tapping for 1 mana of any colour, pretty much, and we can exile to give a legendary creature hexproof indestructible end of turn. So that's the deck. I really like it. It's really, really powerful. It's really explosive. It can be slightly slow sometimes, even though we do have a fair amount of creatures in the deck. It's only 19, and then being legendary means we go high instead of wide, so it can struggle sometimes against sacrifice effects like Liliana or Shoulder's Edict because we aren't going to have a wide board. But if as I said earlier, with Bladehold War Whip and Lava Spur Boots down, every creature turns into a haste creature. And there's one game I was recording, but my computer ran out of memory, where I think we were like really low life and we were about to lose, but we top decked Adam Steiner and managed to, and we had like 4 or 5 equipments out, attached Lava Spur Boots to it and just smashed in for like double striking 7 or whatever, and just put the game beyond their opponent. So really, really fun, really, really powerful, and I really like how it's a good mix of old cards and new cards from a new set. And equipment is obviously inherent to Final Fantasy being an RPG. It's really good to see Cloud and the Buster Sword representing as well. So let me know down in the comments what you think of a deck. Let me know if you do like it by clicking the like and subscribe, and share it with your friends. If you have any friends who like Magic the Gathering, please share it with them to help grow the channel. But in the meantime, I'll see you all in the gameplay. We go first. Well, with Leyline Axe, 2 of them, no creatures. But we do have removal, which we can't actually cast at the moment. But I think 2 Leyline Axes. If we do draw a red source, Rebel's Alpha is now instant. And if we draw one of our many legendaries, we'll be able to cast them with Plaza of Heroes. And there is a red source. Next time we can Bladehold War Whip. Oh, there is Cloud as well. Well, let's get out Cloud. And we will search for a... Let's search for a Buster Sword. No, let's search for an Ether Spark. Do they have removal or a bounce spell? They have something. I'm guessing some kind of counter spell. That's fine, we can still get in for 2. Unless they have a bounce spell. This is not the best matchup for us. because of the reduction from Blade Hold War Whip, we can equip the Leyline Axe to Cloud. They have another into the Floodmore. Oh, Soul Partition. Well, let's get this countered then. Only drawing one creature is a bit of a bummer. Celestial Armor would give it away. Let's try and give it walled. Blade Hold War Whip still gives the cost reduction, even though it's not equipped. Yeah, this really isn't a great matchup for us. Well, let's get out Cloud again. Let's get a Genji Glove. Let's get it Soul Partitioned again. Or not. Does that mean they have a sweeper? I think it means they have a sweeper. They might be playing the new Ultima. Probably should have attached that beforehand. And it does double up the wall because of Cloud's ability. Actually, probably more... Oh, an Oculus when I get down Aldebert Steiner. Missed time doing that as well. I might get another Lava Spur Boots to increase the ward even more. We can't really attack at the moment. Because this doesn't increase its toughness at all. But hopefully next turn we can equip a couple of Leyline Axes. Oh, Haughty Djinn. Well, let's equip a couple of ley line axes. Let's equip a lot of lava spur boots. 7-3 double strike trampler. Well, let's see what they've got. Can they kill us? They might have an etherized. Right. And yeah, like if I had an etherized, we're in trouble. But I was trying to think if we could get down the Genji glove, yes. Equip it, yes. We could get another combat, but then I don't think we may have been out. I don't think we could have got down another creature and attached all our lava spur boots to it. But yeah, we did all right in the end there after a bit of a slow start. Opponent goes first. Well, ley 9 axe. Turn 1 Freya. Turn 2 Raban. If Freya survives. I think I'm going to get out Raban and then lava spur boots. Because what we can do... Well, that's probably a bit better now. Let's get a Blade Hold War Whip, because it just makes it so much better being able to we'll put it on Cloud. They'll probably double block Raban. War Whip, making everything easier to equip is just really, really useful. And Cloud doubling up the lava spur boots. Ward's really, really good as well. I'm kind of surprised by that. And next time we can Blade Hold Ward Whip and Kemba Car. Or Kemba Car Enduring. That is pretty much their entire turn. Well, let's get out Battlefield Forge. Let's get out the War Whip and tap you for it. And let's get out Kemba Cart. Let us attach Leyline Axe to it. Attach the boot to Kemba Cart. And swing in. They're about to take 12. And next turn, we have quite a chunky board. And obviously, if we find another creature, we can just attach the Lava Spur boots to it. Wow. No. I believe this is still lethal. Oh, it's not, because I can't count. That was kind of done with me. But they can't take out Raban because I need to pay Ward 4. Annoyingly, this isn't great. We just need to find one more creature. This might do it. I can't be bothered to count. It doesn't give a... Yeah, it does actually give a stats buff. Raban having trample should do it. Yeah, there we go. We got there in the end. No creatures on board, but they're dead. I think we mulligan that. Oh, that's better. A lot of Leyline Axes. We'll return a Freya. I might get a War Whip with Cloud. Assuming we don't draw one. Or maybe just a Lava Spur Boots, that way we could technically play it. Oh, or not. You have a choice of one card. You have a choice of one card. You have a choice of one card. There we go. Well done. Well, a ban means we can attach the leyline axe, assuming it survives. Clutch attach both with 3 mana. Marishon Pulse? They're looking at stuff. Sheltered by ghosts? Yes, new cards. They're not new cards. Wow, this is taking them a while. Are you not happy with this? Liliana, there we go.
Something suspicious is going on. And for once, it's not my fault. One of your friends has to leave.
Well. Let's get a whack in.
Fine. I know when I'm not wanted.
Obviously, if we have another Liliana, we are in trouble. Or just a removal spell in general. It took them long enough to play that Liliana. And Ward Pay Life isn't great at the start of a game. Buster Sword would be fantastic. Just a Rebel Salvo. So let's take out Deep Cavern back so we can play out Cloud. And let us get a Buster Sword. And we'll attack in. Ooh, they take 8. Now is where 4 becomes a bit worse to deal with. I mean, that's annoying, but oh well. So I imagine if they take the Buster Sword. Do you attack in? That is very bold. Well, let's get down the War Whip. attach said War Whip to Cloud. We do have lethal on board. You have to block. They can kill Cloud with their cut down. They cannot kill Raban because it takes 4 life to pay the ward. And they have 4 life. What do they do? Sheldred. That's probably not it. In fact, I think that's definitely not it. No blocks. Because now they also have... Oh, we do have a black source available. We play Buster Sword. We attach it to Raban. We know they have a cut down. And we will attach the Buster Sword to Raban. Which now is even harder for them to deal with. Well, no, it was impossible for them to deal with anyway. I mean, we have obviously they can kill Cloud, but this is just lethal anyway. We trigger Buster Sword once. Sure. We hit him for a lot. Our opponent goes first. We need a third land. Ooh. Turn on Freya. And we can turn to War Whip, assuming it survives. Which it does. There is a stick, so I think I do have removal. But now Lava Spur Boots just becomes free to equip. We're not that fussed about that. Let's do that. There was no stick. We'll attach the War Whip to Raban. So we didn't have removal last turn. Do they have it this turn? Eject. Well, let's to Ether Spark. And that causes our opponent to scoop. That's a bit boring, isn't it? Two Freyas. Well, sorry, 2 Leyline Axes. Yes, please. we can attach a Leyline Axe to Kembakar, which is what we will do. Ooh. I think we just attached the Leyline Axe to Freya and get cracking. They're down to 5. Please don't have Shadow by Ghost. Oh, Calyx. No, you copy it out of his favour. But I don't think that's going to do it. No, not really. Let's get a Lower Spell Boots. Oh, you know what? Let's just kill Calyx, because I dislike Calyx. There's a 6. They might have something for Freya. But 1 mana that can do 3 at instant speed? That isn't. Rebel Salvo. No, you are very dead. Double Strike and Trample. Does it every time. Hello Magic fans and welcome back to a very quick wrap up. So as I said in the deck check, this deck is a bit bonkers. It's not busted, but it is really, really fun and really, really powerful. In the play queue, obviously with the meta being the Is It Prowess decks and Omniscience. Obviously, if you're on the play with against Prowess and you manage to get down an Albert Steiner or get down a Basilisk Cod or attach something, you can use Life Aim to get beyond it. But obviously, we don't have any graveyard hate. And as far as I know, there's no graveyard hating equipment. Otherwise, that would really be helpful. So play in ranked at your peril. But if you do, let me know how it goes down below in the comments. I do think the problem with cards that let you search for things like we was the same when I played Bright Glass Gearhulk is often you end up searching for exactly the same cards. You know, in this, I was literally pretty much searching for Bladehold War Whip to reduce the cost of everything else, or Buster Sword to take advantage of its ability and its buff. But you know, the rest is there if you need to. You probably don't really need the Ether Spark. You probably don't need Machinist Arsenal. You definitely don't need Genji Glove or Lightning. There are better things you can fetch up. The better things you can put in here, but as I said, I just put them in for the combo, which I never actually got to any close to working. And some of them you might want to go 2 of because they are quite useful. Having like 2 chainsaws as a removal is really good. You know, having 2 Basilisk Collars to try and attach to separate things, or you know. Well, we do have 4 copies of Leyline Axe, and getting 2 in your open hand is pretty bonkers. I think in one game, I had 2 my opening hand, turn 1 Freya, turn 2 Raban, turn 3 attached Leyline Axe to Freya, and then attacked with Raban, attached the other one to Raban, and suddenly I think you had like a 2-2 double striker, and then a 3-3 double striker on turn 3 is pretty bonkers. And if you have a Kembakar Enduring in there, it actually increases the buff as well. So really, really fun, really, really powerful. It's a really good synergy as well between old and new cards, which I do really like to see. So really, really enjoy this deck. And as I said, I'm definitely going to try the Lightning and Genji Glove combo because it is a combo. It was called out, you know, by content creators during the early access and the spoiler. So definitely one to look out for. So keep a lookout for that in the future. But in the meantime, let me know down in the comments what you think. What other decks you would like to see me play. What you like, what you don't like. And in the meantime, I'll see you all in my next video.